Good evening. It's August 13th, 2015, and this is the Board of Sewer Commissioners, Town of Wareham meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum present, but we will need to appoint a clerk pro tem, as our clerk, Sue Sweeney, is unavailable this evening. So,
Motion to nominate Mac as clerk pro tem for the evening.
and I will second that. So, Mr. White, if you are the clerk pro tem, could you give us a roll call?
Move on to the roll call. Mr. Gibberti,
Present.
Commissioner Jordan,
Present.
and Mr. White is here.
Okay, the first order of business we have is to approve the minutes of the July 30th meeting. Has everybody had a chance to look them over and read them?
Make a motion that minutes be accepted as presented.
Yep, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion that the minutes be accepted as written, and a second by Mr. White. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Carries. Okay, as far as sewer business goes, I will mention that these minutes of this meeting, I gave you all a letter, which is more or less older business, that will be attached to these approved minutes requesting that we meet with Mr. Bowen. So everybody has a copy of that, and if everybody is in approval, I will sign that and send that off with a copy of these meeting minutes to the board, Mr. Tropiano with the Board of Selectmen requesting permission.
Want a motion on this?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
I'd make a motion that the letter requesting access to town council be accepted.
Yep, I'll
Send
second
off.
that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second that the letter that we are writing for access to the Board of Selectmen for access to town council be accepted and signed by Commissioner, myself. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. I will sign that and off it will go. As far as the superintendent's report goes, I'm going to read that because, of course, as we know, Guy is getting training today and tomorrow on the cameras. We approved that last week, so he has left me a nice little superintendent's report, so I'm going to read it. So the first item he has on his superintendent's report is the Granicus agreement. That has been completed. It was approved by Attorney Bowen, and I'm not exactly sure whether or not Town Administrator Sullivan signed it, but Guy will get it signed and completed. I believe that one was signed, but I'm not sure on that, so I don't want to misinform anyone. But as soon as Guy comes back, that Granicus will be all set and ready to go. We already voted on that, so we don't need a vote on that. So that's ready to go, so our portal will be up. We do need to choose a name, and we have to discuss the content to be published on the page, on the portal page. I think we're perhaps better off doing that when we have a full board.
Right.
So I'll put that off, but if anybody has any suggestions for names, as I was saying to Jim earlier, there was, Sue had Wareham Bay watches, but I would like to encompass, if possible, all the waters of Wareham, not just the bay, the rivers, the streams, whatever. So if we could have some type of a clean water, Wareham clean water portal, or something that encompasses all the waters and just doesn't narrow us down to just the bay waters, that they'll all be part of it. So if anybody comes up with anything good, let me know. You can shoot me an email. Next thing on Guy's agenda was Sea Power. That was approved by a town council, by Attorney Bowen, and the contract will be prepared next week. Again, we already voted on that, so we may be signing it, although I believe that Derek will be signing the Sea Power agreement since he is the procurement officer, and we are not allowed to do the procurement. So that's all set to go. So those two things will be put to bed. The next thing he had, and this may take a little bit of discussion, the EMS building down on Sandwich Road. They would like to connect to the sewer. Now, all the buildings in the town, including the EMS building, fall under municipal maintenance. Municipal maintenance takes care of all the buildings. Now, that EMS building was part of contract too, so there's not a question of capacity. It's already included in the contract too. So Guy would like to recommend that the sewer commissioners make a one-time allowance for the municipal maintenance department to make the connection, because they will be doing it. And the EMS building is part of contract too, as I already said. And as this is a town department, EMS is a town department, and in the spirit of cooperation, he would like to recommend that all the fees, the permit, the trench permit, the licensing be waived. Now that would be the $18,000 betterment fee. But a vote by the board is requested, so I'd like your opinions and your thoughts on that.
No issue.
No issue.
No issue? Okay, I have no issue with it either, because the rate, if we don't do that, it'll just go back on the taxpayers, and as I said, the ratepayers, the taxpayers too, so one way or another, it's coming out of our taxpayers
Right.
and our ratepayers. So I would need a motion on that, so that we can vote.
I make a motion, we waive all fees connected with tying in the EMS building.
I agree. Second.
The only addition I'd like to that is, so we're gonna waive it as a one-time allowance.
Correct. As
Yeah,
written.
As written.
Okay.
Okay, so, and we have a second on that?
Yep, I second.
Okay, so we've got a motion on the floor that we make a one-time allowance for the municipal maintenance department to make the connection for the EMS building on Sandwich Road, and that we will waive all permit fees, trench permit, and licensing fees. So, that's it. Would you like to take a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So that is the sewer superintendent's, just to catch you up, Donna, I'm gonna just repeat this. The Granicus agreement, Mr. Bowen took care of, everything's fine, we're just waiting, we now have to think about a name and what we wanna publish on the page, but I had said we'll wait until we have a full board for that.
Yeah.
Sea Power has been approved by town council, the contract will be prepared next week, and that'll be signed, so those two things will be put to bed. There is an EMS building connection to the sewer, that's the one on Sandwich Road.
Yep.
The municipal maintenance, they control all the buildings in the town of Wareham, of which EMS is one.
Yep.
And they would like to connect to the sewer on Sandwich Road. That would feed into the Oakdale pump station. And Guy is recommending that it was part of contract too, so that it's not a question of, do we have the capacity? We have it. But Guy's recommending that we make a one-time allowance for the municipal maintenance department to make this connection, and with that we waive all fees, which is the permit, the trench permit, and the licensing fee. That they will be waived, since it is a town building and in the spirit of cooperation with the town, we will waive those fees.
I personally, if I had an experience, what I've experienced with the town, they won't do that for the housing authority in their town buildings. They just sock it right to the housing authority. I'll go along with you guys, if that's what you do. But I'm telling you, we're the only ones that are are being nice with the town. Because the town is not nice to the housing authority, I'll tell you that right now. They, you know, they were looking for a little bit of an adjustment and that they, nope. And it's all, you know, they house all their veterans and poor people, it still wouldn't help them. The town would.
Was it the town or the sewer department?
Oh, no, the sewer department's great.
Okay.
I have no problem with the
So
sewer
it's the
department.
town.
It's the
Well,
town.
I think once we were,
You
the
remember.
sewer department was under the auspices of municipal maintenance
Yeah.
at one time, so there was a spirit of cooperation between Guy and Dave Menard. I would like to keep this going, only because there are times in the future when municipal maintenance can do something for us perhaps, and that will help our ratepayers.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly we don't want to,
It only makes sense to cooperate and do whatever you can for one department. or
right,
another.
because it's departmental and
It's all- it's all one pocket.
I do think this ties into our indirect fee costs, which I am adamantly trying to get some information on, so perhaps if
You know, I think.
Well, maybe,
in our favor,
maybe the
because
selectmen can learn from us in the spirit of
that's what I am
cooperation.
hoping, that the selectmen will say, gee, we didn't all ride in on our brooms.
Mm.
We've got new ones ordered
For me?
for all of you.
All right, that's fine.
Okay, that's it.
Anyway. I'm with you guys on that. I'm
All
with
right,
you.
well,
I'm with you.
I did take a vote before you
Okay,
came in, and it
that's
was
fine.
3-0-0,
That's
so,
fine.
but we could open it up and if you want.
No, that's fine. No,
Okay.
that's absolutely fine.
All right.
Well, I'm not here to upset the apple cart.
Okay, so now,
Yeah.
so that's Guy's sewer report, that's done. As far as unfinished business and general orders go, I have got all the information to send emails to the water department so that we can have a meeting with the water department for the rates. Sue is not here, and I don't think you didn't meet with,
Today?
today,
No?
Mike Schrader, okay.
No,
so-
because Sue
Sue
couldn't
was
meet.
gone, she was she's not here. So, I will do that. I'm also gonna follow up on the email I sent to town administrator as far as meeting with you and Sue directly on the indirect costs. I have not heard anything back from that. I am gonna send off this letter, and I gave you a copy in your file,
Okay.
which will go with tonight's meeting minutes that were approved, requesting to talk to town council. And I guess that's it. The next meeting is not until the 27th of August.
Okay.
We have a week off. Everybody can put their thinking caps on for a new Granicus portal name. And other than that,
Will we discuss content? Will they have some proposed layouts for
you want to say something? No. Well, I'm
that?
sorry.
Will they have proposed layouts for that?
Yes.
Discuss content?
Yeah, I think what they're gonna do is come down and see us and
Okay.
show us what they've got.
With color and organization.
Right, remember when they
And
showed us?
simple, but-
Yes. And that's another thing, when we think of a name, we have to think of something fairly simple so that when people hit Wareham, it pops up. You know, if they're just surfing the web. That's a question we have to ask them. So, and that as well, once Granicus gets up and ready, I'm going to the newspapers and put an ad in there saying that we're up and ready, and so I'd like to have that page in the newspaper, so that the same page, what they see when they open it up, they will see as an ad in the newspaper saying that we have it. So, that's it, unless anybody else has anything they want to discuss.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Just one
Sure.
quickie question on that, on the indirect costs. You said that's pending. You haven't heard from Derek, is that what we're waiting on?
No, I had sent him a letter,
Yeah,
and I
I've
did...
got a copy of those.
Yeah, I had sent him a letter asking about the indirect costs
Mhm.
That was a while.
a while ago.
Yeah.
In fact, you've got it, when
Yeah,
was it?
25th of June.
June 25th, okay.
He's
So,
been on vacation, hasn't he?
he has. And he did call me, and I did have a telephone conversation where he said that, you know, the 2016 budget was already set, that they could look at that. But that's not what they're looking for. We have to project out 5 and 10 years so
Right.
that our ratepayers will know exactly
Gotcha.
what percentage we're
Mhm.
gonna be looking at for increases over the next 5 to 10 years. So we
Mhm.
have to know what percentage we're gonna be charged for administrative fees, what percentage we're gonna be charged for legal fees, so that we can make this projection going forward. Plus, it has to be quantified. According to the Department of Revenue, they have to go and meet with every one of the department heads and find out how much time they spend on sewer information, what their best guesstimate is, or if they are going to time card it or
Right,
time slip it.
They did that, they've done that before.
Right, and they're gonna have to do it again, so that we get an idea of what we need going forward, because that's gonna make a big difference in where the rate comes in when it's a hybrid rate.
I think it's important that we quantify the legal, if we're paying 20% of the town council fee, if that's the case, I mean, I'm not sure, that's what I.
That's what it is, 20%.
We pay 20% of his fee. I mean, I'd like to know what the total amount of his fee is, and how much of it is ours. How much of it is ours? I'd like to see it quantified, because I can't see that this 20%.
Maybe. It'll be
At-
easier
at
to
this point.
quantify now with this board
Yes.
versus having boards,
Yeah. So,
right?
yeah, I really,
It'd be a lot easier.
Simple.
I think that's
I mean, the whole thing is simple. It really is. It's not, you know, it's not, it's really, the whole thing is simple. It's just sitting down and talking to them and finding out. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been using numbers in the past, which may or may not have been accurate, and there was a best guess at the time, and, you know, guesses change. They're not always 100%, and we're not gonna come up with an indirect figure that is gonna be 100%, not a prayer.
well,
Maybe more accurate.
we need
It'll
to
be more
have-
accurate, but it won't be 100%, so if anybody's thinking that that's gonna happen, they better go think someplace else, because that's not gonna happen.
Well, it needs to be more reasonable.
I understand that, I just said that. I said, but it's
Yeah.
not gonna be 100%.
Well, right now, it's in the vicinity of $800,000, so
It
when you're
was over-
talking that kind of
It was over
money.
$1 million.
Well, that was.
That was illegal.
That was illegal, that was that pilot program that was
It
illegal.
was there. All I'm
But,
saying is,
you know, that was not a good thing.
Right now, it's at, what, about 843,000, I think?
Yes, a
Probably.
year. So when you're talking that kind of money,
oh yeah, we gotta find out
your
where it's coming from. I
ratepayers
realize
want to
that.
know what the heck is being done for $800,000. I myself is a ratepayer, and
843.
I want to know, what did you do for me for $800,000? I'm more than willing to pay it, but I want to know, I mean, it would be just like if a
Well, I-
contractor came into your house and said, well, it's going to be $10,000, and then you get a bill for 20, and you say, well, what the heck did you do for the other 10?
Well,
I don't see it.
until we sit down and talk with them, we're just bandying words about and not
Right,
getting
I
anywhere.
agree, I
You know, so
agree.
It's a waste of time.
But it's fundamentally unfair not to give us
Oh, I agree. Not arguing with you.
the quantified, justified, this is what it is.
But-
When we have no qualms with paying it, but
We
it's,
owe it to the ratepayers.
Right.
Because they're
Until
the
we
ones
sit
that are
down,
carrying-
until we sit down and talk with them, we don't really know what we're talking about.
well, the problem is I
mean,
can't
we
get
know a
to
number.
sit down and talk to them because they won't
They won't-
Then,
get back to me.
well,
And I can tell you, probably from their standpoint, it's probably not going to be easy. It's
No.
going to take some effort.
Of course it is, yeah.
So
oh yeah,
trying to get maybe the ducks in a row.
oh, that's good,
It's
that's,
going to take a little bit of work.
oh, it's
But
gonna be a lot of work.
had it been done all along,
Well,
why
it
would it be
hasn't.
so difficult?
It hasn't been.
Obviously, it wasn't quantified before.
Well,
5-year capital plan hasn't been quantified or done, so.
So if it wasn't,
we've asked the question.
we've asked the questions and now I'm waiting for
May
the
not be
answer.
so smooth this year.
Okay, so
No.
Maybe next year.
anyway,
Get
I'm
straighten it
going,
out.
I am going to send another
Get it.
email off so that just they know we're still looking for that. So I guess that's
I
it.
agree.
Well, I think it's important that the public knows that we're
we've said that.
regularly attempting to get the information, not the public, I think it's important that the ratepayers know that we're continually requesting it, but we're not getting it, because we're all here for the ratepayers, is my understanding, and that's what I'm here for, the ratepayers. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, you know, I'm here for the ratepayers, and I want to make sure that I don't mind paying our fair share, but I don't want to pay beyond our fair share, and I don't want other things to be carried on the backs of the sewer ratepayers. I think we need to come to the table, we need to come to the table shortly, and we need to get these answers, because we owe it to our ratepayers.
I agree. So,
With that said, that's all I have to say.
okay. So do we want to motion for adjournment?
I'll second the motion made by
I've already
Donna.
made it.
Donna's made the motion for
Second.
adjournment. Your second. All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Against? Abstain?
Now,
We are adjourned.